All right, everyone. Norms have changed with regards to what you can do to other people, says Bubba Bill Clinton in a new interview. He couldn't. It'd be difficult to imagine how is he going to have poorer optics with regards to how he handles sort of the Lewinsky sex abuse allegations thing. It doesn't make any sense. Here he is. He's sort of been, chastised already by Me Too throughout the last few years. What does he do? He comes in and says, well, I have nothing to apologize for. I did nothing wrong. I am a victim too. Like that mentality is actually going to work. No, Bill, you were the president of the United States at the time. When people, like on the left, they talk about privilege. They often just fling it around at anyone who happens to be white or male or straight or Christian or whatever. And ramble about it. And they're always wrong when they talk about it. There is no such thing, for instance, as white privilege. But there is privilege of having held a major political office, being fantastically wealthy, politically connected, and able to order nuclear strikes at any given time. Yeah, that's a form of privilege. Absolutely. Especially when it's a master-slave relationship anyway, because the person you're boinking or, assaulting or whatever happens to be your secretary, an intern for you. So Lewinsky, the intern, subjugated to the president. He's like, oh yeah, Monica, suck my cigar. Yeah, that's a situation where one person has more privilege than the other. It has nothing to do with he's white or male or anything. It has to do with the fact that he's a fucking president of the United States. Just the way it is. Then Clinton gives a non-apology. Of course, we remember that from, I think, a week and a half or so ago. And he's like, oh yeah, it wasn't my finest hour. But again, he refuses to apologize. Now he comes out and he says, oh yeah, with regards to this whole thing, norms have changed. So basically you're admitting to having done things with impropriety. It's just that you're saying, oh, at the time it wasn't considered impropriety, so it's okay. Oh yeah, I remember back in the mid-1800s when it was okay to own slaves. In retrospect, it wasn't a great thing. It was a terrible time, but at the time it was okay. You were allowed to do it. It was just all in good fun. Oh, says Bill Clinton. Yeah, I don't think that's going to fly very well with the Me Too crowd. Bill Clinton it would be wise just to shut up at this point. He still, I think, thinks of himself as that 40-something charismatic, suave dude who's in the governor's mansion and he can just randomly chase after people in the hallway and try to take pictures up their skirts with a camera on his shoes because he's the governor or something. He thinks that that's still culturally acceptable. Oh, it's just boys being boys. Back in Bill Clinton's gubernatorial days, or back in the 90s when he gets in the tabloids, he'll probably like the attention. And he's like, well, I can screw whoever I want because I'm Bubba Bill. But now I realize it's unacceptable. In retrospect, yeah, norms have changed with regards to being able to randomly abuse other people in proximity to yourself. And it's just it's so dumb. He's not as charismatic as he used to be. He doesn't seem to realize that. Maybe he's going senile. He lapses into these periods where he thinks he's still 40 or something. He thinks that he's still capable of being suave and doing the finger wag thing. The charming Clinton finger wag, shame on you for asking me a certain question thing, died in the late 90s. It no longer works. The last time Clinton was truly charismatic was when he was helping Obama campaign. Well, that was 10 years ago. It was a long time. Back then when he's giving, I think in 2008 he gave the address there to the DNC. And he's we must stop John McCain, we must stop the Republicans' evil, Iraq War and Katrina and all these things. It's we must vote for Obama. We must close rank behind him regardless of what we believe in. It was charismatic and he delivered a good speech. And at the time it was really great. He was still basically the number one Democrat. Now he's been eclipsed by everybody. Now he's on the bottom. He's sunk down into the mud patch of the Democratic Party, which is quite expansive, trust me, along with his crazy wife. Because they keep saying stupid shit. It's you should know better. Typically, politicians, after they lose a major election, they and those directly around them, they go out of politics for a while, they reflect. They write a memoir and then they don't constantly talk about current political issues. They pull an Al Gore, they go off, they disappear for a year and grow a beard. That's what Al Gore did, and then he came back to harangue about the climate change that he causes with his multiple private jets and his multiple homes and his private yacht. So now he can complain about that. He can embezzle a lot of money in the form of fucking carbon taxes and stuff and put it right into one of his foundations and then re-embezzle it in order to buy bricks of gold from China or something. Al Gore is at leisure for doing that, but that's because he shut up for a while. He realized if he continuously reinserted himself into politics, he'd look like a sore loser, and eventually it would stop working. People would be desensitized. They'd never care about what he said again. The Clintons have done the opposite. The second that the Clintons lost in the election, what did they immediately begin doing? Oh, no, this is a terrible thing for our nation. Put on your pink hats. Me too. #resist. Can you say things that the Clintons aren't really part of? You're 90s politicians. You're not from the current era. It's the current year, people. You need to get a life. Hillary Clinton didn't even support gay marriage until fairly recently. Oh yeah, we are on the forefront of gay rights. Those Republicans want to keep you from doing things in the bedroom. It's like, no, fuck you. You're running against a dude who actually embraced it before you did. Never suggested punishing people for their proclivities. Abortion, where was Hillary Clinton on the forefront of that fucking issue? She was like, oh, I don't know. She was one of those waffling Democrats, I believe, that was like, oh yeah, partial birth abortion should be banned. I'm not so sure about abortion on demand anyway. Yeah, I think that minors should have to tell their parents before they get a medical procedure, have their permission. It's like, stop being a coward. Yeah, people who straddle the fence, people who are like fence sitters, they typically, the next paradigm that comes along washes them away because they get exposed as the opportunists they are. Sometimes this doesn't happen. You'll get a David Duke or an Al Sharpton who manages to hold on because they've got a small but very hardened core fan base. What an idiot. Bill Clinton doesn't know what he's talking about. Norms have changed. Yeah, norms have changed. It's no longer normal for you to be in politics. It's not the 90s anymore. Yeah, having Clintons in political office is no longer considered normal. The Bushes learned this. What happened to Jeb? Jeb basically was, oh, in South Carolina, I can pull off a top 3 and I can keep doing this thing. Oh, he comes in 4th, I think. Yeah, fuck you, Jeb. Fuck the whole... Like, Herbert Walker has his birthday yesterday. Who cares? I think it was also Jordan Peterson's birthday. Yeah, one of these people is actually problematic. It's the one that held office briefly because he puked on the Japanese prime minister, failed to end his own war properly, and raised people's taxes after vowing that he wouldn't. Yeah, Herbert Walker, a.k.a. the anti-Reagan, poor Ronald, who was already demented at the time. He's like, oh, who's that idiot on TV? Oh, he's the dude who's pissing away the legacy of the party you tried to build. Oh, well, fuck him. That's basically what happened. Bill Clinton is going to be looked at sort of the same way as the Bushes. Inept, doesn't know what he's doing. He didn't really do anything for the country. He used to be held up as the most popular sort of modern president. He was like the Democrats' version of Ronald Reagan. Now he's dropped off the radar entirely, except he keeps doing this to try to regain relevancy. It just doesn't work. Take a leaf out of the book of Al Gore and stop talking in the public eye for some time. Wait a few months before you say something unhinged again, you idiot. Same goes for your crazy wife. That's about all. Peace out.